Why so glum, chum? I want to talk about how to pick yourself up when you're feeling low, but I'm already laughing at myself because I use the word chum. Did you ever call somebody a chum in your lifetime? Do you have a friend who's a chum? I hope not. It just sounds absolutely ridiculous. But I do have a real message here, okay? No more of this chum business. Let's talk about peak state. Now, if you've ever looked at Tony Robbins' videos or his programs, I love one of his main one of his backbone statements, which is he demands a peak state from himself. So it doesn't matter the flood of emotions that he runs through on a daily basis, which we all go through, but when it comes time to perform or to deliver, when he's working, he demands peak state from himself, and he's actually created rituals to put him in that state. And what an awesome lesson that a lot of people watch intellectually and say that's a great idea, but very few people do it. And I've really been working on taking this lesson to heart. And I actually have five, and I'm going to cheat and read this paper as I do this because I'm going to forget if I try to memorize this for you on camera. But I want to talk about my five key areas that I use to reach a peak state or to put myself into a peak state when I need to deliver. And that's a lot of the time, especially as an entrepreneur. If I'm feeling really low energy, or if I'm really upset about something and I can't let go of it because somebody wronged me in some way, I've got to be able to move through that so I can get serious about what I'm working on. So I want to share five things that I do that almost instantly put me into a higher energy, a higher state, and then I can kind of maintain that the more I do these things. So the first one is I use a motivational alarm clock. So one of my success habits that I've been creating for the past almost 2 years now is getting up very early to start my day so I can spend focused time getting a lot of productive work done. So recently it's been 3 a.m. That's a new time for me. It's a new record. And so what I do is I use different audios, but there's one right now that I'm playing. I'm going to play it for you in just a second here. Actually, let's do it right now.
Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Are you hearing me? Only those who are willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Look, you gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. And you can go further than you think. Listen to me, you in 3 and you got 6 gears, but you're accustomed to 3, you're accustomed to 4. I challenge you to push into all the gears you got. Give it everything you got. Listen to me, you think I thought I was gonna write a book? You think I thought I was going to be an author? Do you think I thought I was going to be marching this year with a PhD? Do you think I thought I would be traveling the world, NFL, NBA? Do you think I thought I would be doing this as a high school dropout, as somebody that was home? Do you think I thought I would go this far? But I pushed it. I said, I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what I can accomplish. I want to see what I can do, what I can be, what I can have. I want to see. I don't want to see what I think I can do. I don't want to see what I think is possible. I want to see what my life would look like if I didn't count the cost and if I was willing to go further than anybody else was willing to do. If I had the mentality that, Eric, you got to want it. You got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And I woke up and here I am.
And now that you've heard it, I play this every morning, and it's just sort of that audio cue to wake up and get my day going. Because sometimes you're tired, right? If you're really grinding hard and you're putting a lot of hours in, you don't want to get up. But I hear that, it gives me instant energy. So that's number one. What's my next one here? Playlist of songs. So very easy to do with iTunes, especially loud music, right? We all like different types of music, depending on your style, your genre, your flavor. You can easily create a little playlist of songs that you know that once you hear these things, your energy level is instantly going to be raised. And if you work from home, or if you work in an environment where you have a little bit more privacy, then you can stand up and start doing a little bit of a Cabbage Patch routine or something that the more you move around, the better you're going to feel. And the high energy music can really pick you up, especially if you're feeling really low, and especially if your goal is to go from a low to a high. Take some time to find 5, 10, 15 songs that you know that as soon as you hear them, you're going to feel better. So that's another big one. Another great one that I do, and my list is growing really, really long now, is I have a ton of different motivational or insightful videos that I found on YouTube that go from 1 minute up to maybe 10 minutes long. And some of them might be kind of like a slideshow motivational thing, and I'll watch it and it gets me inspired. And other times it might be an interview with a really inspirational person who I admire, and just hearing them talk and hearing their perspectives on life, I can kind of put myself into their headspace, and it makes me raise my standards and raise my energy, and I feel better. And then I can watch a couple more of those, and instantly I'm in that peak state. And now I can attack my problem. That's another thing I do. Another one is, and I actually had a blog post about this, so somewhere I'll find a way for you to link to this. I use a technique called mental shadow boxing. So this is really cool. If you get, if you work on an iPad, that's great, or a laptop, or even a piece of paper with a pen works too. The idea with mental shadow boxing is if you sit down and you start writing out all of the things that you intend to achieve, almost like your ultimate vision in your life and in your business, or what any area of your life that you're working on right now, and you start describing it in detail, but you just start really slow. You just kind of start jotting down the general idea, and then you kind of let the writing take you where it needs to go. But what you'll find is as you start writing out your goals as they are now, or as though they existed right now, you'll get a creative burst of energy of all these things that you want to create. And it creates that feeling as though you've already generated it now, even though it's probably off in the distance and you're kind of working towards it. Feeling really good about it, about the potential of it arriving one day, is the best way to raise your energy and to obviously work through whatever tasks that you're handling right now. So you can kind of associate your current task that might be making you feel really low energy. You can associate it to something more exciting, because when I get this thing done and the next thing done, I'm that much closer to my goal, and you just keep working through that. And then the final one is pretty obvious, but not a lot of people use this, and that is intense exercise. So I'm not talking about going for a light, jog or light stroll where you're barely even walking, barely breaking a sweat. I'm talking about something where you really push your limits. For me, I love weightlifting, doing like heavy squats or heavy weights. Obviously, you want to do this safely, you want to work up to it, but where you really push your limits and you're pushing hard to a point where you actually feel exhaustion. You don't have to do this for a very long time. A 20-minute workout sometimes all you need. But what I find is that the endorphin release and just challenging yourself where you're at the point of pain almost, there's such a huge reward when you're done. You're so proud of yourself for doing it, but also the actual physical changes in your body that happen, the endorphins that do get released, change your energy, and that can last for hours on end. I know sometimes after I do a heavy weightlifting session is some of my best, most productive work, and that can last for 2, 3, 4 hours. So you don't want to necessarily do this too close to bedtime, but it's an awesome way to pick up your energy. Some of my worst days that I've had, where I might have been really frustrated about a project that failed, or something that went really wrong, and I was beating myself up, a quick trip to the gym, a 30, 40-minute session of high intensity working out, and I came out of there feeling like I was actually questioning what I was worried about before. I was in a totally different headspace, but I had to manufacture this using these techniques. So now you've got my 5. What are your 5 or 10 that you want to use? Maybe start with this list, but make it your mission to deliberately control your state and put yourself into a peak state when it's needed, so that you can call upon these actions and this mindset as often as you need. That's an awesome success habit. You're going to take yourself way further than you would otherwise. I hope this works for you.